sewer.
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Matt, what the hell was that?
Wasn't me, coach. Welcome to the Straight Red Card. Get off our lawn.
Welcome to the Straight Red Card, where everything is beautiful in its own way. Unless you have like elephantitis of the nuts or something. That's pretty gross. So that's not so beautiful. But
everybody's
still,
unique and beautiful in their own way, Derek. We've learned anything from Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers. You're perfect just the way you are.
No, that's what Billy Joel said about that chick. But that's not true about everybody. And some people need to be more self-reflective. Listen, I didn't become the person I am today without many years of doing horrible things. Not horrible, but I mean, in reflection, bad choices. We all make bad choices. Say the wrong thing on occasion, it happens. But if you don't ever learn from any of it, then you're just going to be an asshole your whole life. And what fun is that? The
only bad choice I made in life was getting back onto Facebook for the show.
Yeah,
but I rectified that real quick.
You're really close to describing Facebook there when you start with the word wrecked. The turd in the background says, "Welcome to the Straight Red Card, the only show that spent 20 minutes talking about BBC, porn, balls, and jism. Get ready to laugh as Derek and Brett get drunk and stoned." Well, I just want to be really clear. Brett does not get stoned.
True.
Okay.
I do get drunk, though.
Yeah. He does work at a school or something system. So, is that doxing? I don't want to dox you. Adam Wiggins says, welcome to the Straight Red Card. I promise it's a soccer show. Yes, we get there. It just takes us a while to get there. That's fair. And we're working on that. You know, I wonder, since I'm using the good computer, Brett, should I actually open the comment section up?
You could. It's going to distract the shit out of you, though.
It is. It's going to totally distract me. You know that. All right, so I won't do it. Rob Bell, thank you very much for the $3. Super sticker.
I will. Hold on. I'm going to share the screen so you can see it. It's a little pair, it looks like, giving fist bumps.
Cool.
We can't see it on StreamYard side, so I had to pull it up.
A little pair?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God.
It's
Infinity. My brain's breaking. Stop it. Make it stop, please. Oh, God. Does that really go on an infinite amount of time, you think?
Yes, it will. I mean, so at some point, your eyes cannot register anymore.
Theoretically, I mean, it could.
Yes. I wonder if that would eventually, if you have enough people doing that, if it would crash YouTube.
So is that a reflection of the universe as well? Is the universe truly infinite? That's a good question, because we're always talking about how the universe is expanding into expanding. Okay, well, if it's expanding, what is it expanding into? And people are like, well, nothing. But no, you can't expand it into nothing. That's not how this works. It has to be expanding into something. Now, what that something is, that's a matter of debate and discussion, right?
Yeah.
All right. David D says, like the scene in Inception. Oh, I love that movie.
Like when they're in Paris and she maneuvered it so that was an infinite walkway and she breaks glass.
I so want to see that movie stoned out of my ass. I think that would make it even better. I really do.
Certain scenes, absolutely, yes, I'm sure.
I know, because I was watching that movie with my son and my then wife and now ex-wife. And I was feeling stoned watching the movie. I felt like I feel stoned right now watching this movie, but I wasn't at all.
For the same visual effects that would probably be making you trip a bit.
It's not only that.
You probably want to watch Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange at least.
It's not only that, and I will take your advice there. It's the concepts in general. How many different fucking levels they were going into sleep. And just the whole idea that consciousness could live on those levels. And the ending of the movie makes you just want to fucking your brain explode because you're like, they're so fucking deep into consciousness on a level that it's really hard to even fathom, and that's what the movie tries
within a dream,
right,
and into infinity at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Nate.
Or limbo. Sorry, not infinity.
Glad you're here, Nate. Roca, 2 out of 10. Bamford, 3 out of 10. Jesse's selection was terrible, and inability to recognize Roca needed to be replaced. Same with Somerville and Ba. Didn't know Ba played on the team. BA, who's that stand?
Brendan Aaronson?
Brendan Aaronson? He was one of the best players on the field. And that's not saying a lot because there wasn't a lot going on, but the little that was good was Brendan and Adams, frankly.
And we'll get into this a bit later. Derek's sitting there texting me while I was taking my daughter to gymnastics.
Yeah.
Like, the name of the show should have been about Leeds. I'm like, too late to fucking change it at this point, man.
So.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it was Bamford, not BA. Was a type. Yeah, it looks like Nate was like typing on his phone, most likely, with all the periods out of place.
I think Nate does that sometimes. Yeah. Anyhow, I think he has like a history of that. But I got home and got to watch the first half. Then I had to go back and watch the first half. I came home and watched the second half. Still on. I love my job, by the way. I can get home and catch the end of games midweek at Premier League. I mean, 9 to 4. I love this. Every business should run 9 to 4 because guess what? 2 hours, if you make them go 8 to 5, they're just fucking around for 2 hours anyhow. Just get the most out of your workers you can and let them get in and get some fucking sleep and get there at 9 and fucking leave early and beat the traffic and save them from stress.
There's absolutely a study out there that says that a 6-hour workday, people are just as productive on a 6-hour workday that they are on a 9-hour workday.
I would say they're more productive because guess what? They get to sleep at fucking night and come into work at 9. Listen, there's a lot to be said about that. Come into work. Yeah, so when I come into work, I'm just like, I'm here. I'm here. Look out. Here comes the spray. Good morning, Mary. All right. No,
that's is HR this way?
Do you want my report for me? All right. By the way, I've been taking these new routes home. Funny that we're talking about work. And every day I pass the last 2 days I went home. I tried college, and you pass the school for the blind and the visually impaired. And their whole exit entrance section, and you're like reading it as you're driving by. It might be subconscious, but when I drive by there, I'm more careful than I am usually because blind motherfuckers can't drive well. So, and the visually impaired can't.
It's true.
So when I drive by their exit, I'm like, okay, I'm being particularly careful here. And then I think, oh, Derek, that's really funny. Ha, ha, ha. You little jokester there. And I'm like, why did I even think that? I don't know. I don't know why I thought it. But I just was extra careful driving by there. All right. So
at the very least, catching them walking to class, watch out.
Yeah. Don't run motherfuckers over there. I choked on an eclair at work this week. I literally inhaled like a little chunk of eclair I was eating.
I've heard that's the sweetest way to die, just so you know.
Well, I didn't die, but I felt like it was close. And like the gal who is my assistant came up to me as I was choking. The whole office is hearing this. I'm like, I can't breathe. I can't fucking breathe. And she came up to me and she looked me in my face. She said, Derek, do you want me to do the Heimlich? and I almost started laughing, but I was choking and I couldn't breathe. And then it just flew out of my fucking.
I guess that's the new way of doing it. The beer bug has caused a ripple in the medical field as far as how to do the Heimlich maneuver.
Has it?
Yeah, no contact. Just make them laugh, and they'll spit it out themselves. Apparently,
she was so
serious. Work.
She was so serious, and just for whatever reason, the fact that she said, "Do you want me to give you the Heimlich maneuver?" I'm like, just don't ask me. Don't just do it.
Blink twice for yes.
Get behind me as I am bent over. And put your arms around my belly.
Wow, this took a darker turn there, Derek.
and hope
strap on, roll.
and hope
that's not going anywhere, guys.
And hope that no one in the office is filming this on their phone because it's gonna look funny and you're married. So it's kind of weird. Anyhow, I survived.
Today was role-playing day at the office. No.
I have to say, I'm sort of it's the joke now around the office. So people have been talking about, I heard Derek choking on that eclair. There's emails going around.
Well, I had a friend who told me that he had choked on a kernel of rice. Is it a kernel?
A kernel.
A kernel, just one kernel.
I guess a piece of rice.
It did its job, I guess.
A tube of rice. I mean, that's not going to clog up the breathing tubes, though. But it's going to cause some havoc in the lungs.
Inhaling and exhaling, you can feel just rappling, going all over around his lungs. Like,
oh no, that'd be horrible. Your lungs do not like outside objects at all.
No.
So you're going to be coughing for at least a week until that thing flies out of there. A piece of rice. That's not good. All right. Let's take some questions before we head to some topics. We will discuss soccer. We'll discuss
let's start. Let's see. Here we go. Ruben Cox. Anyone seen the new Halloween movie? Thoughts?
Are we sure that this still isn't an attempt to get us to say Ruben Cox?
Anything's possible with Arc Chat.
Yeah. Anyone see the new Halloween movie, you say? Nope. Probably not going to.
It blew, Ruben. Or Ruben?
Isn't Ruben? What's her name's in that, right?
Yeah.
What was her name?
Chick from the first one, or the very first one.
She's still hot, even
Jamie
Curtis.
Jamie
Lee Curtis.
There we go.
She's still pretty good looking, even now at the
For
age
90.
of, I think she's 70, 60.
She's not 90. I know, I'm joking around.
Yeah.
Basically, this was going to be it's going to end once and for all for either Jamie Lee Curtis or Michael Myers.
No one believes that. Although at some point, Jamie Lee Curtis is going to die in real life, and they can't keep going on with this. This premise of the movie, her versus him, is going to end when Jamie Lee Curtis dies in real life, unless they do the whole Star Wars thing and they make like a digital version.
Space? Oh, sorry, no. Okay.
No. Oh, you're talking about Princess Leia?
Yeah.
And how she was in the movies even after she was actually dead in real life. So. I mean, you can do it, I guess.
We have the technology. We can make them younger.
Yeah, we could.
Make them perkier.
Okay, I didn't see that one coming.
Hey, with Jamie Lee Curtis, at least you have some reference points that you can go full back to.
Yep. Didn't she play the Playboy bunny in a movie? So she was nude in that movie all the time. It was good days back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other questions? Topics? We want to bring up before we get to the main topics?
Oh yeah, we got some stuff to talk about. I was just looking at the chat, making sure there was anything in there, and we can come back to the chat in just a second. But I figured let's start here. We're going to start with a Meg topic.
Okay, Meg.
So Meg posted this on the twits. This was over the weekend during the Minnesota versus FC Dallas match.
Meg and I, I'm in tune already with whatever she's going to say here. Given that both teams have about one shot on goal, this will entertain me instead. Minnesota United FC, we need to talk. What's this FC Dallas? What's going on there? What is that? Big ass taco?
Oh, it won't blow up, of course. Yeah, it's a big ass fucking taco.
Jesus Christ, that's huge.
Look at that thing. It's as big as my head. Remember those commercials?
Yeah. Well, there used to be that place in Bloomington.
Burrito. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin and Broadwell, too.
Yeah. Burritos as big as your head.
FC Dallas goes, it's a big taco. What is there to talk about? So I wrote, must refrain. Too easy. FC Dallas, how could you? It's a big taco, of course.
It is. That's quite big. And if I guess the idea is that she can fit that in her mouth, then, well, the possibilities are endless. And I don't know. We're not going to play it, but I'm sure.
It's not a video.
Are we sure that's
I'm pretty sure that's a dude.
They served that taco in a pizza box.
Yeah, well, yeah. You see the size of that? They're not going to wrap it up with some Taco Bell wrappers.
Wow. All right. Well, good for her. You eat that taco, woman. Jose Lopez, as a Mexican, I don't trust a crunchy taco no matter how big it is. I have to say, Jose, I mean, I really got into the authentic tacos since I've been in Indianapolis, but on occasion, I still like a crunchy taco. I really do. I'm
still trying to look at this comment by Jose and wondering if he's actually talking about a crunchy taco or a crunchy taco.
No, Well, then you're talking about him being paranoid over people with large vaginas, and that wouldn't make much sense to me. I mean, I think it's fine.
What about that taco made it crunchy? It's all.
You're concerned you might meet someone and have a relationship with them, and they have a very large vagina.
Toad's a guy, yeah.
And then you're basically humping air. That's no fun. But I don't think we want to get into him being paranoid about it.
Damn right, Brett.
Oh, he was talking about the beaver. All right. Okay.
What made that taco crunchy is the question.
All right. Bring on the next one. This is a fucking clown show here.
Okay. Oh, crap. Hold on.
Boy, you're not
there we go.
this.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, my God. It's true.
Okay, guys. Go to Scuff's Twitter if you want to see this video. But it shows all of Josh's last 8 shots over 3 matches. 6 of them on target and 2 of them on goal. Or 2 goals, let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting being able to just see the highlights of all of his shots. And like 6 of those 8 shots happened like outside the box.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's amazing that somebody's going to do it. I have faith. We're going to the World Cup. And somebody's going to shoot from outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen, guys. This is the dream.
It's gotta happen.
It's a dream.
That's what's. I mean, look. Okay, last World Cup that we were there, best goal for us in the tournament, Jermaine Jones banger from outside the box. So, if you're going to win games at that level, you're going to have a few of those. And we've been, our fucking brains are exploding watching the U.S. men's national team never take shots outside of the box.
That's not in between the 6 and the PK. It's not going to be a shot, guys. It's just how it is.
It's so frustrating to watch. So, yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it is going to happen during the World Cup coming up, it's got to be Josh Sargent, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got to be the man because right now he's got the bananas to do it.
Like right here, I think this is one of his goals. Right there, just going to slot that near post.
Whoop. Yep, I think that's the most recent one. That was a near post, actually.
Yeah,
he went for. So that's the most recent one, and
there's one.
Guy just looks really.
He's confident as fuck, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is perfect for us.
Yeah,
and we still are watching and listening to the debate over Ferreira. Should he start? Is he going to start? I hope I hope that Greg
got Leeds on your mind.
I know. I hope that Greg is opening his eyes a little at this point because he gave Sargent the littlest amount of time out of the strikers between Pepe Ferreira and him last window, which was, I think, a fucking tragedy, frankly. And that just needed to be fixed, but it didn't get fixed. And when Greg said he learned things, I wonder what things those were because he felt.
Derek, he told us. He told us things.
I know.
What kind of things? Things.
Yes. Well, that doesn't reveal much, does it? So I wonder what those things were.
The same things we learned about some of the players already. No, it's
what could he have possibly realized that's so deep and profound that he can't let anyone else know about it?
We really miss Musa.
He could have said that.
Yeah, but then that's kind of like, low blow. He doesn't throw players under the bus, Derek. So, I mean, it'd be a low blow to the rest of the midfield that was playing without Musa.
Well, he wasn't asked about it, so he didn't have to say it. But, I mean, if he had to talk about some of the things, he could have given some generalities, I think, and gotten away with it.
And Jesse, we definitely want those long shots. Kaiju Sports Club comes up with a quality and power shot of shots goals for Sargent is much better than Ferreira. I will say, looking at his shooting in this clip, again, go to Scuff to watch this clip, but they are not piddly fuck shots. They are laces driving through that ball shots.
Yep. And don't give me all this stuff. Oh, well, yeah, it's in the championship. Well, championship is still better than the competition that Ferreira's facing. Again, with a healthy PFOC, I am taking Pepe, PFOC, and Sargent because Sargent can do anything fucking Ferreira can do and better. Period.
Well, I do want to reiterate a point that we always bring up, but this is not a point to bag on Ferreira by any means. We just think that there are other people that can do the job and be better at it.
Doesn't mean I don't think he's a quality MLS player. He is.
Yeah.
So what? At this point, that's not what we need necessarily for the games and the teams we're about to face. So
yeah.
All right.
Like, Nate goes under the bus unless your tour name is Haji.
Haji.
Yeah, those are the only times. Like, dude, Haji fucking sucked that game, man. I don't know. I'm not calling him.
We gave him a chance. Yeah. And it didn't work out.
Thanks, Pulisic, for telling me to call him up.
Yeah, he's generally fucked at this point,
Yeah.
right? But let's be honest, is playing in one of the worst teams in Turkey, which is amazing. He's still scoring goals.
Mm-hmm.
But the Turkish league in general has really degenerated over the last 5 to 8 years. It's just slowly kind of, and now it's like the guy coming out of the pool when it's cold outside.
Sorry, this is on topic. So he literally said Haji sits when he pees. Hold on, what do I have up here? David D brought up a great point because this is the talking point when it comes to Jesus. Is that he's a second striker or a cam? He's not a solo 9. And yes, he's not. The play, the only way in a 4-3-3 you're going to make Jesus do well in the brother system, because it's my system, is if Jesus pushes back more into the midfield and you have Pulisic and Weah or Pulisic and Aaronson or whoever would play higher up.
Yeah.
And you'd play more or less false 9. Yeah.
False 9. Yeah.
And guess what? That's what he is. That's what he did. That's what he did with FC Dallas whenever Pepe was there.
Yep.
He did good. Now, mind you, of course, he's scoring goals. He's bagging the goals, 18 goals and some odd assists or whatever it was this season. Tied FC Dallas's highest goal scorer record. I mean, good. I mean, he's got confidence, but will he do it in the international level? We haven't seen it yet.
Pepe's scoring almost every single game.
6 goals, yeah.
For Groningen since he's gotten there. Do you think Ferreira would have scored those goals too? Ask yourself that. As a 9, as a CF, like he plays
as a 9, no.
He plays Pepe as in the same role for Groningen that he does for the U.S. men's national team, and he's scoring goals in buckets right now for Groningen. So would Ferreira be able to do the same thing for Groningen? I don't think so. Not if you watch some of the goals that Pepe's put in. So it's about his reach, his length, his skill, his ability to hold up the ball, none of which Ferreira can do against a real big center back. He's not holding up the ball. I know the Eredivisie is weak. It's not as great. It's not fantastic, but I really don't think Ferreira is that. I don't think he lives up to Pepe. I think Pepe's just generally a better player all around. And then I think Sargent's right there with Pepe. I think he's a better player all around than Ferreira is. And then Ferreira's kind of a head case, too. Not that Sargent hasn't been before. He has. But Ferreira is a head case. He's in his own head quite a bit. I think at some point he's even talked about the fact he had to get counseling because he was putting too much pressure on himself and that he was folding in the big moments, kind of like he did in the playoffs, where he missed a sitter for FC Dallas. And now they're out of the playoffs. So,
Derek, that ball was spinning. Sorry, this is a
balls do spin.
This is an argument that's occurring on Twitter.
Well,
the ball was spinning when it got to him. You can see as he made contact with it and how it connected with the ground and spun backwards.
Listen, if you want to bring Ferreira as a number 10, I'm fine. But guess what? We have Reyna and we have Aaronson who can play the 10. He'd be redundant at that position because he's not a 9. Ferreira's he's not a center forward. I'm sorry, he's just not. he only took up that role because Pepe left. So, all right, whatever. People can disagree with me. I'm fine with that. If you love Ferreira, fine. I'm fine with that.
But I mean, I guess the overall topic here, when it comes to talking about strikers, especially with the national team, is that I think unless for some odd miracle Berhalter decides to bring 4 strikers, I think Ferreira's guaranteed that number 1 spot.
Yeah,
and then the other 2 have to fit his system according to what he wants to play are going to be Sargent and Pepe. Now, good news is that both of them are firing on all fucking cylinders right now. But it'll be a shame. It'll be a shame not having the option of like a PFOC off the bench.
I think right now Greg would start Pepe over Ferreira and Sargent.
Correct. Yeah, I'll agree with you. Actually, I would agree with you on that because I feel like he feels Pepe would be the better fit for what he wants done over Jesus. But now that Pepe's on fire, I mean, he has all the reasons to do so. So
yeah, Greg just needs to see a crack of light down the tunnel. Something on Pepe.
Chris had it covered there. Just remember, goals don't matter. The system does.
Well, Greg better think about that before he hits the sand in Qatar, because it's not okay. I was thinking about this today, Brett, and I hate to say this.
Oh no, don't say it.
I feel like as hopeless with the United States going in this World Cup right now as I do with Jesse Marsh and Leeds, as I do with Greg qualifying in the World Cup. I don't feel good. And it was a sucky feeling to feel. I didn't want to feel it, but I was like, oh, God, Jesse's fucked. So Greg is fucked too. God damn.
It's interesting because I feel like we'll be getting to Leeds here shortly, I guess, but we can always talk about that now and then come back to these questions, I guess. With Leeds, I feel there's enough firepower in the sense that if they can ever manage to figure out how to put the ball in the back of the net, they'll be perfectly fine, which is an obvious Madden type statement. The team that scores the most goals wins. But yeah, I mean, they're constantly on the attack. They're constantly dangerous. Now they leak goals, of course, and then as you mentioned prior to the show, when they get in the final third, it just seems like they don't know what the fuck to do, or they get in their own fucking way. Yep. And yeah, you know what? Let's just go and talk about it. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Why not?
They made poor decisions in the final third. Really poor decisions. Not to mention all the bad passes today. There were so many fucking bad passes.
Share again because I need audio. Because we have an interview with Aaronson that we're going to talk about. Or just one question. I feel like he kind of summarizes a lot of the mentality here as far as like how they're experiencing everything and whatnot.
Sure.
I mean, I wouldn't say. I mean, it's tough right now. We're in a tough stretch, and listen, at the end of the day, we have to get points. I mean, it's about the performances. Yeah, I mean, they've been okay, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's points. And we're not getting the final goal and getting the second or whatever it is. We're just struggling in that sense. But we have to look on to Fulham, and that's the season. It's up and downs, and we got to keep our heads straight, and we'll be fine going on.
So, to this point, he brings up the point. He goes, "Well, it hasn't been good enough. We're not getting the points. We need to get the points. It hasn't been good enough, and that's on us." Yeah, I mean that basically describes it. You can play all these good games, and you had the Arsenal game. You have all these performances that have been solid enough, but they're just not getting the result.
Well, he doesn't want to throw anybody under the bus.
He does talk about that too. He does. This is a team performance. I'm not going to single out any players because I feel like we failed as a team.
I mean, because let's be honest, Mark Roca fucked up.
My boy Roca? No, he couldn't have. He couldn't have.
He did. He fucked up bad. But the second goal was on the system, actually, not anybody in particular, to the point where you saw the Danish guy that plays right back.
Christian.
Yeah, Christian. Thank you. Something like that. Yeah, get dragged all the way in and have to cover the center of the field during an attack. Did
he have to cover for Koch?
Nope, Koch was out at that point. he shot his wad and got a yellow card. And so Jesse took him out at halftime. Yeah, I think that it was very frustrating watching Leeds today, and it reminded me a lot of watching the U.S. And the same sort of problems in the final third, and how are they going to fix that? with teams that, I mean, they look great against Arsenal and Chelsea and teams that are going to come attack them. Then they can play the counter ball, right? That looks great. A sort of mid-block to mid-high press on occasion when it's feasible, or as General Lee said, practicable. I just think that, unfortunately, when we play the teams that are not as good, and we should, like Leeds should be attacking or on the attack, they look worse. And I think that might happen to us in the World Cup, Brett. The only good news I can think of is that maybe Greg
have you not been watching the U.S. all this time? We always perform better when we're playing against teams that are coming at us. Usually. I'm not going to say all the time. Let me reel that back a little bit.
Right.
But it's always the teams that sit back. They always talk, they went into that low block, and we just couldn't crack that nut. I'm like, well, fucking figure it out.
Not even a low block, a mid block fucks us up. So I'm thinking most teams are going to play a mid block on us at the World Cup. Mid to low.
They all the teams in our group have to do is go back and just look at the performances that were shit for us and figure out, is that all they have to do? Okay, we can do that.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting, but it didn't give me hope watching that because, like Greg, Jesse is a systems guy, and I get it. Systems can be useful, but how long does it take to break down film on Red Bull ball and go, yeah, this is what they want to do, and we're just not going to let them do it? Simple as that. And it's predictable, and you can see the shifts coming, and if you bring the ball out wide one side and you got somebody on your team who can make a long switch field pass, then Jesse's team is, even as narrow as they are, well, because they're as narrow as they are, they're going to get fucked out wide. And that's what happens to them. So, and that leads to like the second goal today for Leicester. They were so compact, or not compact is not a good word to describe what they were. But obviously they didn't cover the right wing. And then it was so overexposed, everybody had to shift to the right, the opponent's right, to cover it. And by the time the ball arrived to the last player at Leicester, he was wide open all by himself. One-on-one with Melier. So really not good. Not a good game. Jesse's pulling out his hair. And the talk has already started, even from guys like Joe Leeds Football. He has a podcast. People are starting to talk about Jesse's got to go. He can't handle it. This is too much for him. And I think that's unfair at this point.
So I know. Obviously, you had the great starting point. They're launching off platform, and so they've had a string of losses and a draw in the last 5. So 4 losses and 1 draw in the last 5 games. I will say, though, and I'm not doing this by looking at any teams that they're going to be playing in the future or who they've played as a whole. I'm just looking at the table itself. I mean, a single win could catapult them all the way up to 13th.
They've only played 10 games so far, too.
Yeah, they got
a game in there.
Yeah.
Yep, game in hand.
I'm saying, when you're looking at the last 5 games, you're looking at 4 losses and a draw. People are going to be down. They're going to be questioning it. They're going to be saying, "Hey, you need to pick this shit back up," and he needs to. Like I said, I think that as far as their offense is concerned, if they can get a fucking person, keep Rodrigo up top. Don't get him anywhere near the midfield because he seems to want to just play it to the opposition, their defensive third.
Yeah.
So why would you do that? Just keep him up higher. Take Bamford off. Bamford is in his own head like crazy right now. But if you can get a striker that can score goals, or even have Sinisterra put some of those away.
The thing is, if you
changes a lot.
You got it. It's almost like when you watch Bamford, he does a lot of the right things most of the time. He just doesn't finish. And it's like if he could get one, the floodgates would open and then he would stop missing those opportunities. But today, I think you mentioned, he's fucking up his own teammates.
Yeah.
He's getting in the way of his own guys.
Yeah, I'll pull up in a second. I want to cover this stuff. Jose says, Jesse is not the guy to take Leeds to the promised land. Love the guy. When it works, it looks great, but teams have figured them out. Yes, they figured them out. But I don't think Leeds is a team to the Leeds is a team that's going to go to the promised land.
No.
It's going to take some massive investment for them to go to the promised land at this point.
Left back, center forward. They don't have any depth there. Look at how fucking horrible Junior Firpo was today. He was an embarrassment to soccer, Junior Firpo. This is why Strunk has been playing in that spot. And I guess he was injured and couldn't play today. So Firpo had to come in and play. And he was atrocious and embarrassing.
Promised land is 10th, yes. Assurance that no relegation would occur, basically. But again, they're only like 4 or 5 points out from 10th. So it could happen. Just a string of a couple good games here and there.
This next game could be the end. This next game could be the end for Marsh. If he loses like this to Fulham, which could very well happen, okay, with Mitrovic and company playing as well as they are. Because guess what? Fulham won today. Was it 2-0 or 3-0? Ream and Jedi and Mitrovic and the rest of those fuckers, Corda Reeve, all those guys, they won again. They are in 9th place. They are sitting pretty. They are not uncomfortable, okay? And they have confidence in the way they play. Jesse and his bunch don't look very confident. They don't look like they know how to play teams who aren't going to be aggressively attacking them like Arsenal or Chelsea. They look very – Jesse's got some fixing to do. It's not all Jesse's fault because, God damn it, Brett, if you watch the game like I did today, there are so many small, tiny mistakes by players. Bad passing after bad pass after poorly weighted pass. It's atrocious. Some of this has got to be on
Derek, stop describing the U.S. versus Japan game and start talking about this match. Come on.
Oh, is this the let's see, the night? Oh, yeah. Brendan Aaronson's pass to Somerville. Yeah.
So you got Aaronson sitting here in the midfield. Looks like Adams got the ball.
Yep.
Passes it back. I have no idea who's that center back.
Lorente,
okay. Look at that. You can even see the speed of the ball.
It's taking a piss.
Fast pass, man.
What's going on there?
So he gets it. He looks up. He sends it off to Aaronson.
Good pass. It's a good.
Aaronson's
that's one of the few good things Lorente did today. One of the few good things.
I'm going to beat this guy. Now, here we go. Who we got out here? Is that Christian? Christian.
It could be Christensen because I think
it is. Yeah, he's missing there. You got Bamford and you got Sinistera. Sinistera. Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So Aaronson has it.
He
looks up. I mean, he could play that right there.
Out wide.
Would have been a nice play. But he holds on to it for a little bit, and it opens up for Sinistera.
It was a beautiful pass.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah. And, definitely go back and look at the highlights for this.
And look at the lane in front of Sinistera. He leads him, too. That's a leading pass. He didn't just pass it to Sinistera. He led Sinistera into the open pocket. Beautiful pass. Now what happens? Sinistera's got a free run at goal, you think, right? But what does Bamford do?
Where's he leaning to? What? He should be trying to take at least this defender out instead of trying to crouch it, because clearly the center back is noticing that, Bamford's not the dangerous one anymore.
Right. And you know that defender's going to have to go after Sinistera. So the only way to draw him away from Sinistera would be to go the opposite direction, right? I mean, you want
or at least maintain a straight trajectory.
Straight line, yes.
Because, I mean, Sinistera can still lace that like that, and he could run onto it. That could have been a pretty safe bet, too.
Yep. Just stay on. And what he does, Bamford does here, is try to stay on the shoulder of Loss, I believe is his name, the defender from Leicester. And he overdoes it, because right here he needs to break off and let Sinistera go one-on-one.
Was that Somerville?
No, I think is that Somerville? I thought it was Sinistera during the game, but I could be wrong. It might be Somerville.
I don't know.
Either way, if it's Somerville or Sinistera, they both have a clean lane, and you're screwing up their lane right now because you're adding another extra body, which means if Somerville wants to cut to the right, you're in the way. And look, I think Bamford's asking for a pass here.
Through here. That's the thing, though. At this point, he's got to put enough pace on that. He's got to pull back enough that it gets past the defender, but not so close to the goalkeeper. That's a stupid pass to make.
Yeah,
unless he plays it further out, which is why he's already running that direction.
If he is closer to the other defender, who is to his right, Bamford, then he might have or if he's pointing to the right, not straight ahead. That pass ain't working.
Yeah. Great point. Because a pass this way would take the goalkeeper out of the equation, but a pass this way would take it right to the goalie.
Straight to the goalkeeper. And you still got to get around turd face. So, give yourself, like, Bamford should be riding to the right here, not straight ahead. And not to the left, especially not to the left. And now he's just in the fucking way.
What am I going to do here? I can't even go near post. Can't even go near post.
I know. He's like another fucking defender.
Because if he wasn't here, he could at least rip it low, force a save. But he ends up trying to curl it around the defender that Bamford didn't bring him, but didn't offer any options there. And it went wide.
I got to say, the fucking board members of Leeds United's team, you need to shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, but Bamford is no Harry Kane. I don't care if he played for the fucking English national team a handful of times. It doesn't make him Harry Kane. And Harry Kane would have known what to do there.
Yeah.
Bamford did not. He fucked that play up by himself, all by himself. So that's where we are with Leeds.
I know I bring up Ted Lasso from time to time, and it's fitting that we're talking about Leeds, and I bring it up, of course. Why not? Mm-hmm. But there's a scene in the second season where Roy King gets down on Jamie. Have you seen the show by now?
Not this. I only saw the first season so far.
He's like, so Roy's getting down on Jamie. He's like, hey, your player has the ball. You're supposed to go to and support your player. And Jamie's like, actually, I'm supposed to go the other way and draw my defender and open up space for him. Mm-hmm. And it's an aha moment. It's very fitting for this.
Wow. And Ted's like, mind blown.
Well, Ted wasn't even there. He's off doing other things, but yeah, okay.
That's Leeds. That's the Leeds wrap
up.
It's a fun
situation they're in right now.
I mean, I'm watching every fucking game, you know?
Yeah.
And by the way,
Rodrigo does need to play up top for them at this point. I mean, unless you want to start bringing in some of your bench players to fill in. Bamford's just not getting it done right now. He needs to figure out what's up here and start producing again.
By the way, for those people out there who are a little marinated, and I'm not talking about drinking.
Oh.
When I say I haven't watched U.S. soccer for a little while, or MLS, excuse me, doesn't mean I haven't watched it all season. I have watched it all season, most of it.
Your opinions mean nothing, Derek.
So, if you're going to quote me in the show below, please do not make up your own quote of something that I didn't say. That would be much appreciated going forward. And that person who's marinated knows who they are. All right. Wuxia Game Central. Bamford sucks. He should have peeled off in case of a rebound. I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
We just went through the whole thing. I mean that was...
Even if he wanted to shoot his right foot, he would have still done the same thing. And Bamford could have been in that position he would have had to slide for it because of the shot. But regardless.
It's a goal-scoring opportunity in a serious one 8 days a week for anybody who's not a Nimrod. Like, you're basically 2-on-1. The other center back is not even able to keep up with fucking with Bamford. So it's a 2-on-1 situation, and Bamford just closes off the lane and doesn't even offer another opportunity. And then points for some weird pass that that's not going to work. All right, Nate. Weston to Leeds is everywhere in the tabloids, in Leeds papers. No.
Where would he play?
It's not happening.
He's not going to play the double pivot next. He's not going to take Roka's position because you're not going to take Adams because Adams is killing it right now.
Yep.
But you're not going to take Roka because that's not his position.
Correct.
And you're not going to take Aaronson / Rodrigo as the 10, depending on who's playing up top.
Nope.
So no, it would be a bad fit for him.
Oh,
but
really
it's
bad.
It's funny that it brings this up because Weston is back in the tabloids again. Guess who? Guess who with? You'll never guess.
Pulisic's sister?
Ooh, ouch. Close, but no cigar. It's Tottenham rumor again.
No,
Tottenham
come
is still interested in
on.
bringing him in January, apparently.
I don't believe it, Larry. I love you. I love what you do there at what's his name show. Fuck.
Next Pro? No.
No. People always
SBS
mispronounce.
Soccer.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Soccer by Ives.
Yeah.
Or Eves or Ives or
Regular.
Evis or Ivis. Everybody pronounces it differently. I think it is Ivis though. Yeah, Larry, I love you, but I don't believe this. I just don't. Sorry.
I'm not going to say that Conte's not interested in bringing Weston. He's been interested for like 2 years. Will Juve end up selling him? I guess if the money's there, they might. But I don't know. Allegri's playing Weston consistently. You know, for better or for worse for the Juve fans, what they bitch about all the time. But
I don't know if McKennie solves a whole lot of problems that Tottenham have, and they don't have a huge amount of problems, but I don't know which issue he solves. Is it just depth? What is it? Tell me, Tottenham fans, what problem McKennie solves for Tottenham? What particular issue?
the
Derek and
American
Brett,
market.
decipher me. Asked Derek and Brett, do you guys like MLS, and would you consider it the best league in CONCACAF region? I'll start and say I've been a long time LA Galaxy fan. I'm kind of particular to New York Red Bulls too. I don't know why. I'm not exactly sure. And whatever team Bruce Arena coaches.
It happens to take place in the same state as the Cosmos from the good old days.
Yeah, now if the Cosmos were playing in MLS, that would be fantastic.
Name something that's never going to happen.
Yeah, never going to happen. But there was a chance for a short while, if you remember, that could happen, and it didn't. So yes, we are long time. People have called me for many years. They said I was like this MLS defender because I was saying, listen, these academies are going to start creating amazing players in about 5 years. And then they did. But for the 5 years, people were telling me I was a fucking idiot because no way were MLS academies going to produce crap or any sort of player that anybody would want anywhere. Well, fuck you. You were wrong. All right. So I'm
spoken
right.
like a true shill, Derek.
And I'm not trying to like pick on anybody in particular, but there was one guy in our little soccer group there for years who kept telling me, no, it's not going to happen. And he was just wrong. Everybody who said MLS academies are going to suck, they're not going to produce, they were all wrong. And that the whole movement towards academies was a great idea. It was a great idea. It is a great idea. And we got players coming out of Philadelphia and FC Dallas and Sounders and
I think
LA Galaxy going overseas. So
I think it definitely helped once MLS started throwing funny money into the whole system.
Yes.
I think that really encouraged the academies to start producing. And I think once they start producing, they started reaping the rewards from it. I think you're starting to see more and more academies do more with their stuff.
Well, and it's just more cost effective, isn't it? So you bring up a player through your academy. He plays on your team. You don't have to pay him as much as a DP or some other veteran you're bringing in. And at the same time, what if he turns out really great? Well, now you're going to make money on him based on the new rules, selling him overseas. And you're going to get a chunk of the change every time he gets sold on. So there you go. I think teams have figured it out. They've looked at FC Dallas and they've gone, fuck, why can't we do that? Why are they the only one? Well, then, so Philadelphia is doing it now. And New York Red Bulls have a history of doing it, sending players abroad. So, yeah, we're seeing not everybody's up to that level, obviously. Other teams are still doing work on that. Real Salt Lake comes to mind. They're working hard on their academy and making it better. There are lots of teams out there in MLS that are trying to do that. Mm-hmm. Who has the academy produced? MLS academies?
Yeah, that's what he's asking, yes.
Well, let's start with McKennie. Right there.
Richard. Well, if we're gonna stick with FC Dallas, you got Richard. You got
McKennie, Richards.
McKennie, you got
Pepe, Ferreira.
Did Cannon go through their academy system? I'm sure he did.
McKennie did. Yeah, I mentioned
Cannon.
McKennie. Oh, Cannon. Yep.
Did Che go through?
Yes.
I mean, he's still loaned out. He's not necessarily producing at this point.
That's just one academy. All right. New York.
Did Paredes go through DC's?
Yes.
So, New York, we have Adams.
Well, yeah.
You have Reyna technically played for New York City FC Academy.
He did. Yep.
So there are plenty of players, and you have to also take into consideration the number of academy players that are still playing in MLS right now that might branch out too. And it's not going to be like a flip of a switch. That's the thing. Well, we're about like 10 years into the academy system as a whole.
Yes.
The players are just now going through the whole system. I mean, it's going.
Well, let's be honest. 5 years of serious 5 to 7 years of serious academy business. You've got Adams from the New York Red Bull system. You've got Aaronson from Philadelphia system. Listen, we could go on for days here. Actually,
who's the Philly kid at Venezia? I mean, again,
DeVries.
I mean, not lighting it up by any means, but still, they're producing and they're sending players out.
Yeah. So it's a major difference. Okay, when I used to track U.S. players abroad 10, 15 years ago, I had a very short list of like 40 players to track. It was not a hard thing to do. Now it's 296. Okay? 296. So there you go. None near Moose's level. But Larry, honestly, that's fine. And you're right. Maybe some are not at Moose's level, but maybe Aaronson could be considered equal to Moose's level. Maybe McKennie could be in the neighborhood of Moose's ceiling. Adams has turned out to be really good. I don't know.
Well, let's also take into consideration Musa came up through what was it Arsenal's system? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how long has Arsenal been producing talent through an academy? Decades, many decades, right?
They sell a lot of them too.
Yeah. So once we get to a point where MLS academies are 60 years old, then maybe we'll have a player as Moose's level, I guess.
I'm not buying the whole idea that Musa is like so many levels above Aaronson, McKennie, Adams that a discussion can't even be had. They're different players, number one. They do different things. But I agree, Musa is an incredibly skilled player that if he's not there in the World Cup, we are fucked. Period.
Well, hopefully Berhalter changes the system because clearly it fails without him.
Yeah, it's a massive, miserable thing to watch without Musa. Musa does, in many ways, make Greg's system work. He is the who's the Columbus guy Greg had? Nagby. He is the Nagby of our system. He is the, if you don't have that kind of player.
Except for Berhalter plays him at the international level.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't Berhalter, I guess. I did not play him, but still.
Right. All right. Tottenham is okay. We did this.
We already talked about that. Yeah. Talking about players that are out of Berhalter's system.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we need to talk. We talked about Fulham for a little bit there, and we've kind of brushed up on Ream.
I just want to make it clear that I understand that Nagby is a Porter guy. Okay. So he played for him at Akron, he played for him at Portland, then he played for him at Columbus. So I'm just comparing somebody obvious to the academies are working for us
right
now.
This is a different Larry too.
Yeah. It's a Larry Parr.
Yeah.
Yes, the academies are working. And everybody that was saying, oh yeah, but they never played the young players. And I kept sending people every year. I would send Hold on.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Every year I would send an Excel form to Greg, not the Greg Berhalter, the other Greg that was in our group.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say, look, numbers back up again this year for young players getting playing time in MLS. Look, every year it would get better and better and better. It was like a straight line up, and not a straight line, but a good line up. No one would believe me. And I'm just like, listen, I'm giving you fucking statistics at this point. It's not even a fucking opinion at this point. These are just fucking facts.
I forgot to mention Mihailovic.
Mihailovic is
the Chicago Academy kid.
Yep.
And he's on his way over to Holland.
Slonina.
On his way over to Chelsea. We'll see what happens with both of those players as they get there.
Yep.
I mean,
I
don't even see Chris Brady lasting that long at Chicago.
Listen,
would Brad Friedel actually say that he sees a higher ceiling for Chris Brady than he does for Slonina? I'm not saying that that's a slight against Slonina, but he's saying he thinks Brady's actually better.
Man, when it comes to goalkeeping, that's just such a matter of it's not even subjective. There's no way, to be objective. It's only subjective because goalkeepers that young can either crumble and fall apart and lose all their confidence and become nobody. Because goalkeeping is all about confidence. Just look at Stefan. Without confidence, he looks like a total Nimrod playing in the championship for Middlesbrough most of the time. Not the last game. The last game wasn't even that good.
I have no idea how Slonina kept his confidence over the last year and a half, though, but still, he's done it.
Well, yeah, I know, playing for your team. But he might think...
Next year, we're going to make the playoffs, I guarantee it.
But you know what, Brett, honestly? When you're playing for a really, really bad team and you're a goalkeeper, doesn't that kind of give you like the okay to just play freely? Because you know the goals aren't going to be your fault.
Go for those amazing saves all the time.
Yeah.
Even make a standard save look amazing.
Jose, as far as Stefan looking again, I mean, it's not like Middlesbrough is dominating anybody. Yes, they did win the game.
Jackie's on Jose's side. Oh, he goes, better, still number 2 for me.
Yeah.
Do you hold Steph as your number 2 or your number 3 with Horvath over him?
Right now,
Horvath's playing at least consistently. Yes. And
Turner, Horvath, Stefan. Yes, Luton's doing really well. And Horvath is a big part of that. Stefan.
Calm your tits, Derek.
I said, My man boobs. Is that what we're talking about here? My man boobs.
Okay, so I guess back to my point before we got sidetracked again on the academy players. Brian, our good friend Brian, had brought up a player's stats that's no longer talked about by Berhalter, except for saying he's a good player, just doesn't fit our system. Tim Ream. So Tim Ream played 4,071 minutes out of a possible 4,140 last year in the championship. So what, he missed out on like 80 minutes, roughly speaking, 60 minutes, give or take, last season. Yep. So far, he's played a total of 988 out of 990 minutes this season. That's a total of 5,059 out of X amount of minutes. It's 98.6. It's August 2021. He just turned 20. He's just turned 35.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about him turning 35, I get. And you can see it sometimes in his sport.
I think he's punching out those numbers despite the fact that he just turned 35.
No. That's where I'm going with this.
Okay.
35 is a number. It's just a number. If guys keep themselves in prime shape, like Tim Ream does, yes, are his twitch muscles going to be slower regardless that he's
already slow to begin with?
He's going to be slow. He's not as slow as we think he is, but he is slow. But he makes up for it by anticipating where the fucking play is going to go and being in the right space constantly. Name the number of times this year someone's just deked fucking Ream and scored a goal on him by dribbling right by him and blowing by him. It doesn't happen, people. So this whole idea that Tim Ream can't play in fucking Berhalter's stupid system, because actually Tim Ream can make a nice, he can play through lines with his passes, is so fucking ridiculous. I don't even want to hear the argument anymore.
Here you go.
Not after watching Long. Ream is better. Ream is better than any MLS Academy center back. He couldn't see the field over Clarence Goodson. Okay,
first off, let's take the first part. Larry. He's also got 15 years on almost all Academy players.
And why are we talking about Clarence Goodson? He hasn't played for like almost a decade.
I think that's the point, though, that Ream didn't play that entire time really because of Clarence Goodson. That's a coaching decision, just like it's a coaching decision.
Oh, you
that
mean
he's no longer part of the team now?
On the national team?
Yeah, I think that's what it means. Yeah, because
Oh
Clarence
my
Goodson.
God.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think it's national.
We're going way back on the way back machine here. Okay, Larry, I did not understand the question.
The
at all.
06, 2010 comparisons might be real now.
But
I don't know if those are the
Ream-
years actually, but still.
Ream is an academy player because I believe he came out of college and played for Red Bull.
And I wouldn't call that academy by means.
No, but I think he played 1/2 season at Red Bull 2. He might have. I don't
know if they had a Red Bull 2 at that point, to tell you the truth. I think Ream came out of college and pretty much jumped onto Red Bulls at that point.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm going back because he didn't play. He was definitely sold early, relatively early, like after 3 years.
Our good friend from England, Simon Allen,
who just liked us on Twitter. I mean, come on, it's like 10 years. Come on.
I know.
What the hell?
We used to make fun of Ream so hard. And we stuck behind him. We would say, you're wrong, Simon. You're just wrong. He's a decent player.
And I know, guys. That's the point. We were joking about that. I don't think that's college academy.
What?
College, the academy before there were academies in the U.S.
Yeah, I guess they were. They were, in fact, the academies before there were academies, college. Yeah. And now you look at like IU's soccer lineup, and you look at all the
60% Chicago.
You look at all of the college lineups now, and you're like, oh, those are all the guys that failed at the fucking MLS academies.
Well, they definitely didn't. I'm not saying that they failed, but they didn't.
No, they did
contracts by any means.
No, they did. They did not impress. They went to the academies. They didn't impress, and they're like, yeah, go ahead, IU. It's cool. You know, get a couple years.
Like 90% of the academy players going through are going to be doing that route.
I'm just saying they don't want to do it, but they have to. Like,
okay, no, I'll agree with you on that. Yes.
They go to the academy, and the academy's like, you're more like a college guy. Why don't you go off and do that? Because I don't think you're going to get much time on this 2 team that we have. So why don't you go back to IU or go to IU because they wanted you anyhow and go play there.
Chicago is one of the few teams that really took the USL PDL team serious. They had a lot of players, a lot of like major MLS players and even some national team players come through their system because they were one of the few professional teams that took the PDL system serious.
So Ream Ream was a Chicago Fire Premier guy?
PDL, yeah. So he came during college and played for 3 months of the year.
Right. Yeah. I remember how that used to work. Yeah. Right. Also, Ream is a good-looking man, and we need that on the team.
Yeah, we can't bring in what's his face? Well, Jesus, what's his face? The guy from Norway, Mix. We can't bring Mix in anymore. Does Mix still have his like Jesus like flowing hair?
Oh yeah, Mix is going to be a good-looking man till he's like 80. Mix is just a good-looking dude. Period. There's no way around that. My good-looking lasted till about 37, and then I was done. So there you go.
Get better looking every day.
Well, it's good to have like a positive vibe going. If
I say it enough, it's true. So.
Regardless of reality, it's good to continue to believe,
In my reality, Derek, I'm the best looking person out there. You got Brad Pitt wearing dresses now and making fun of Clint Eastwood.
What was that shit that fucking Beckham wore when he went to Japan?
Funhouse smears. Thanks, Darian. I appreciate that one. Oh, no.
You think that one Henry is Henry Jr.? That's on here? That's
like Indiana Jones Henry Jr.?
No. Ives. Soccer by Eyes. SBS Henry.
Oh, that'd be cool if it was. I don't know.
It would be cool.
Hey, let us know in the chat, guys.
Mad props to you, dude. You do a lot of good work. I hate that I was scratching there, and it reminded me of the coke addict guy. He wore a sarong. So wrong. Yes, Darian. You nailed it.
So
remember,
wrong.
He did the interview with who's the character that he did that with? Fuck. I'm such a fucking dumbass, brain dead motherfucker. And it was a live interview, and the guy's like, "What are you wearing there?" And he's like, "It's a sarong." He said, I know it's sarong. What are you wearing, though?
Oh, man, that's great.
All right. Okay, so that's that. Oh, that's from Shredder.
That was, yes. That's what I said. Our boy Brian.
Our buddy.
Yeah.
All right. Brian, we love you. Keep doing the work you do, man. We need to get him back on.
We do. I agree.
When's the last time we had him on? Was it last year?
Dude, he was one of our we had Simon and
Conrad, and then
did we have
maybe
Conrad
Shredder.
first?
I think it was Shredder, then Conrad.
We had Archer in there, I think, earlier than Brian.
Yeah. We were bringing back the old school guys. It's
Still
been
want to
fun.
get more than back. Fill out some of this dead space. Well, we had the World Cup literally weeks away, so maybe not so dead, I guess.
So maybe we should talk about this Pulisic thing. Like,
Sure.
what else is he supposed to say?
Okay. Yeah, let's scooch over. All right. So Pulisic, yeah. Some things came out from Cy and Dan Talk Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive me if I butchered that, but that's how I read it.
Okay.
Read and read it too.
You gonna put it on the screen?
I will. I wanted to just talk about that first.
Okay. Cy and Dan Talk Chelsea. Potter loves Pulisic, set to stay. Club to listen to Mendy offers. What? Are you fucking joking? All right, I'm already.
Kepa's been okay since Mendy went out, but yeah, that's nuts. I can't believe that that's even a talking point. If it's a talking point, if the club is willing to listen to offers, they're fucking nuts.
Kovacic set for new deal talks. That's should be standard. He's one of the best midfielders they have. Plus, news on Havertz.
Well, don't even worry about the last one because it just says and more. You'd have to click on his Substack, and I am not a member of his Substack, so
okay, all right, that's fine. Ziyech can go. Ziyech can just go. Ziyech will never play for this team.
Word is that Havertz might be on the out too, though.
Well, that would be a mistake because I think Havertz could still be a really productive player if played properly.
Sure.
But Ziyech, to me, he's done. Ziyech, whatever you want to call it.
I didn't want to correct you because my track record.
I've heard it both.
Names,
I've heard it both ways.
I said that earlier today on Twitter. People were having a back and forth as far as how to say certain things, and I said, I heard it both ways.
When I hear things both ways, 50-50, I'm like, all right, there's Ziyech 50% people and Ziyech 50%. And then the announcers pronounce it differently too on certain games. It's Ziyech. It's Ziyech. No, it's Ziyech. Right. Isn't Juventus recalling Zakaria because of playing time? That's
that'd be interesting. Since he's talking about it, so that could be the case. I haven't heard anything about that, so I don't know.
He's not getting a lot of playing time, that's for sure.
But yeah, so apparently, Graham Potter loves Pulisic, and you can tell that by all the playing time he's getting.
Just loads of playing time, right and left.
Maybe just here's something to expand on it. Potter loves having him there, and Pulisic loves being at Chelsea. Now, that's a great point to bring up because whenever the whole Tuchel issue was going on, Pulisic's dad tweeted out saying like, "This is a shame. Pulisic really enjoys being at Chelsea," and there was all the rumors that he was going to be transferred. So that's legit. That's a possibility.
It goes on.
He does love being at Chelsea.
It goes on to say he has become a popular figure in the club. He's not a popular figure outside of the club with the fans. But
he's a very big punching bag for the fans.
Yes.
He's like, we lost. Pulisic had 7 minutes. Fucking hell. Ugh.
I mean, I have to say, if I were 34 and playing for Chelsea, I would love to hang out with Pulisic. I think he'd be a lot of, not like fun, not the bad kind of fun, but he'd be a guy you'd be able to sit down and talk to about a lot of different topics and ideas. Mm. And he'd be into that, right? He's a very introspective person. So it would be cool to hang out with a guy like that or be his roommate. Well, the guys at this level, they're no roommates. That's an MLS thing. But if you want to go out and party, no, that's not the guy you want to bring. but because he's not going to be partying hard.
What if you just want to go down to the local bookstore and get a coffee?
I'd totally go with Pulisic. I seriously would, because he's introspective, he's thoughtful, and I think that he would be a kind of guy who would be open to all kinds of topics. Like if I brought up Napoleon and the Battle of Waterloo and started talking to him about it, he'd be interested. I think that's the kind of person Pulisic is. He's kind of a nerd, and that's cool because I'm kind of a nerd, even though I'm not, because I'm like a rock star or what? I'm just never a rock star. Let's not kid ourselves. All right. Although I do have an album coming out, folks, on Halloween. The physical version of my album is coming out on Halloween. It will be available. The record. Oh, fuck it. You know what? Hold on. I'll be right back, Brett. You take it for a second here.
Oh, you're going to go get the physical evidence proving it, huh? That was a nice upskirt shot of Derek as he got up. Well, I didn't have to vamp that long, Derek. Jeez, you were only gone for like 30 milliseconds.
I know, but this puppy dog is coming out with the lyrics and all of it.
That screen glare off, man.
I know. I don't know how to do that. Twin mono. That's like the Salt Girl there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's the record cover.
Does she have a black umbrella, or is it just her?
It is a black umbrella.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't quite make it. I can see it now. Yes, I can see it.
Yeah. And then on the back, the name of the songs, which is very hard to see. Fucking shit.
So I had mentioned as you stood up, I go, that's a great upskirt shot on Derek there. And Al Weinstein saw your testicles.
Did he? Good for you, buddy.
Give Brian DeMarco saying vinyl or bust.
Those are 51-year-old testicles you just saw. They probably smell pretty good because I took a shower or a bath, a long bath yesterday. So they smell fabulous. Although you don't get that through the YouTubes,
No.
the smelling of the cock
There's
and
no
balls.
smell-o-vision just yet. David D says only buying if there's a song about cock and balls.
There are no songs about cock and balls. I'm sorry, but metaphorically, there were a lot of cock and balls involved in the.
A lot of dudes in the band.
No. Hold on.
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
No. So
a lot of dude groupies. Is that what you're saying?
These songs were written right after a breakup with probably
Another
the
dude.
hottest chick I have ever dated in my life, and one of the smartest chicks I have ever dated in my life. And
Saying you were stupid.
no, she's smart. She was really smart.
So you're saying you were stupid.
No one's ever beats me in Scrabble. She beat me. Anyhow,
So
that's not a proof that she's smarter than me. I'm just saying she was really smart and funny as fuck. But she had an addiction problem, so that didn't quite work out.
with
I'm
other
not
people's
gonna
cocks? Oh.
not going to say her name, but there were a lot of the interactions between me and this young woman at the time, involved a lot of cock and balls, and those interactions inspired the relationship that we had, and thus inspired the record. So in essence, cock and balls were involved in the writing of this album, and it was way back, guys. So this is
I will only date you if you can figure out how to make a 20 or 30-point question or word in Scrabble. Go.
No, Scrabble is not my litmus test. She was a writer. She wrote for magazines. She was quite bright, very smart. Could talk about every topic you could think
Hugh
of.
Hefner.
Movies, politics, history. The chick was everything you wanted, except she was a drunk.
Oh, I thought you were saying she was addicted to cock.
No, she wasn't mine. Yeah, at the time, but
Derek, you're doing it wrong if it was just alcohol.
so anyhow, cock and balls were involved in the making of this record. I'm just saying in an indirect way. But if you don't like indie rock, or you don't even know what indie rock is, then you should be interested, because then you don't even know what it is. But if you love indie rock, this is the album for you. Didn't have an FC Dallas taco, probably. No
crunchy tacos.
She did not. She was quite svelte, thin, blonde, beautiful. in every way. Just she's the most beautiful chick I've ever dated. And
Are
then
you following her on Facebook? Like stalking her?
we still kept in touch for a long time after that. We were even going to start a podcast together, political one. But I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to stay out of politics going forward.
It's dangerous. It's a dangerous game to play, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Not going to say her name, but she was hot. She still is hot. She's alive. She's alive and still breathing.
Thank
I don't
goodness.
know. I don't know if she's as hot as she was 25 years ago, but
Jesus, I have to go back on Twitter and find it. Somebody was talking about a player like, yeah, he was really good. I'm like, is he dead? Did he pass? I'd have to go back and find that, but I forgot who that was about. So,
yeah.
All right. Back to Pulisic, because we're still talking about Pulisic here.
Oh, we were. I'm sorry. I thought we were going to talk about my album for the rest of the show.
That's a recorded episode, Derek. Come on.
Right.
So apparently Potter loves Pulisic. He loves being there too.
I thought you said long.
Yes, I am.
I don't know how long Pulisic is, but yeah.
Ryan Rooney brings up a great point here. Pulisic has a goal contribution every 38 minutes at left wing, his best position this year, and still can't get starts. Let's show him some love, please.
Yep. I mean,
a goal contribution every 38 minutes.
Pulisic is definitely going to have to have a relationship with Potter that evolves, where he becomes one of the guys. Because Potter's going to play a rotation regardless. So you just need to get in that rotation. And he did today. He went for 30 minutes in a tie, a 0-0 tie with Brentford. He had some moments, but yeah.
Somebody said in the chat earlier, like Pulisic played well in a 0-0 tie, which means that he's not going to start for the next two games.
Maybe or maybe not. It's really hard to tell right now what Potter's rotation is. I think he's just trying out a lot of different shit when it comes to subs. So
let's look at some more numbers for Pulisic, because that's a good litmus test. Words test. Difficult. Christian Pulisic had his last 107 minutes for Chelsea across 3 appearances. He has had 1 goal, 1 assist, 5 chances created, 3 shots on target, 82 touches, and a combined chances on goal. Is that what that stands for? That's 0.57. I still need to sit down and figure that shit out, because
expected goals.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Me?
He does deserve more chances, but listen, there are a lot of guys who are not getting a whole lot of chances right now. Ziyech, Havertz is in and out. So most of the Chelsea podcasters are calling for him to start now. The only Chelsea podcaster I care about and listen to almost every day is the one and only Mr. Benson. And I will continue to listen to him. I like his show. I like how he delivers. I think he's very fair. So if you haven't found Benson.
No, I like his show too. I don't sit down and listen to it religiously by any means, but I've liked what I've heard.
We will have him on the show eventually. Promise you, we will.
But I guess in the topic of Pulisic, I have a response to Pete here. But Pete says, not going to lie, I wondered if the multiple injuries has taken taken away some of Pulisic's explosiveness in the first 3 yards. But today, especially, he looked like his old self, gliding past players with the ball as if they weren't there. Very encouraging to see. Last Pulley tweet, I promise.
Don't make it your last Pulley tweet. Come on.
Keep posting. So I said, perhaps I'm reading too much into the Champions League quote from the Pulley book, but perhaps Tuchel didn't want Pulley playing that way. Structured, methodical, systematic. All squash that type of creativity. Pulley will lose the ball by being creative, but the times he doesn't. So, yeah. I mean, you look at his time with Chelsea. He was really explosive during Lampard's time. It wasn't perfect by any means, and there were times where he would lose the ball. Like I said, let's just say 40%, 50% of the time he would lose the ball trying to beat a man. Okay, shit's going to happen when you're a creative type, but you're going to beat the player more often than not and create an opportunity on goal.
Yep.
Under Tuchel, that was few and far between. And then you had that Champions League quote where he's like, Tuchel was telling me not to do this, but I did it anyways, and we got the goal and won the game. And I'm like, maybe I'm reading too much into this.
Tuchel's another systems guy. That's why. Very controlling, very much play my ball kind of stuff. That's
not
just,
with, but play my ball. Yeah.
Right. Not play with your ball. Play with his balls. I mean, he could be a one-ball guy. We don't know. Himmler had one ball. So, and that was the what's that? What? Himmler. Oh no! When Hitler had only one big ball, Rommel had two, but they were small. Himmler had something similar, but that was nothing. No, nothing at all. All right, so that's your anti-Nazi song for the night.
There you go.
Are we done?
We're not even to the Twitter part yet. You already asked
for
this?
fuck's sake.
No, Derek, I had to bring this up because you asked to bring this up when we talked prior to the show.
Can this be the end, though?
We get some Twitter questions.
God damn it.
Quit being a bitch.
Fuck.
All right, so we got Al Weinstein here.
Yep.
He's like, hey, Thierry brings up a good question. And he goes, because he's been having a back and forth with him as far as players are concerned. Mm-hmm. And he had asked if Ream is better than Pope. Mm-hmm. And Al said yes, because he doesn't think Pope would do what Ream has done with Fulham. The back and up, promotion, relegation, etc.
Sure.
So it brings up a good point. And I say, well, there's supposed to be an apostrophe here, but we'll get to that one in the 0-2 comparison. We won't get to Ream and Pope comparison because Ream is not part of the expected roster. Mm-hmm. And Al says, ouch, Tim Ream getting the GG treatment from the straight red card.
No, that's true. We got to go with anti-Disney World here. We got to be real.
And so I said, we are always in the mind of Greg Burrow or Triple G. So you don't have to. You're welcome. And now before we branch down to Class Act, I do want to say I've enjoyed all my interactions with Class Act. This is not anything against him by any means, but Derek wanted to bring this up and talk about it in person because he's had this experience outside of Twitter. He's had this experience on Facebook a lot.
Yep.
Because he's the one who deals with all the Facebook stuff. So he wanted to address this topic because the topic is going to come up where Class says that is functionally propagandizing on behalf of him and a shit way to make content. You're basically USSF's work for free.
Class Act, you must know nothing about our show. That's the first thing I will say. I'm glad you're a Class Act, but if you were, you wouldn't say that because we're not propagandizing any of Greg's shit. We have been very critical of Greg. We have been very clear. We've even put out a video of our own picks compared to Greg's picks. So we make a distinction between what we believe we would like. And guess what? I'm Derek Ritchie. I fucking live in Indiana. I'm fucking jerking off here. What does my fucking opinion matter about who should start? It doesn't. The only opinion that matters is Greg's.
Yeah.
Because Greg is picking the team. So what? No, I'm not fucking making it okay that fucking guys like Pfach are going to be left off, that Brooks are going to be left off. No, I'm not making that an okay. A Ream's going to be left off. I'm not making that okay, and we don't. So you need to watch our show more. I'm glad you're involved in the Twitter universe with Brett. That's nice, and that you guys are friendly. But that was a really ridiculous comment.
So the chat is split down the seam, quite frankly. We have Larry back. He's like, hey, you guys are the best. You piss me off, but you're a different breed. Yeah.
Different bread.
Yeah.
We were bred by, I was bred by Germans. I don't know. You were bred by Scots Irish.
There are a lot of people that are not in Class X corner, and there are some that are in. That definitely is, again, split half and half.
Well, no, bring them on.
Class X is a fun guy.
No, it's
on
great.
Twitter.
This is fine. But you're accusing us of something we don't do. We do
Well,
not propagandize. We are the opposite of propagandizing for USSF. We just simply say, here's reality. And then when we don't, we say, here's the Disney world we would like. But we make those things very distinct and different. So you know the difference.
So my response was Captain America already claimed the U.S. military. USSF was the only thing left we could make propos for. But I go claiming this is Greg, or this is the 11 Greg was likely to call in is hardly an endorsement. Not sure how it's propagandizing.
No, it's not propagandizing at all. And I don't understand. People don't really know what propaganda is. What the U.S. Soccer Federation does, that's propaganda. What Michael Cameron does, that's propaganda. What we do
is the best coach ever. And
yes,
he's done this.
What we do is shit on when we see propaganda, and we shit on it, and then we say, but you know what? We got to live with reality, and reality is this is probably who Greg's going to bring in. Look, when I pick my own fantasy team and put it up there, who fucking cares? So, who cares? I'm here in Indiana jerking off. Who fucking cares what I think, what I want? No one cares. I mean, we did it. We still put one up. We said, here's what we would do. But, I mean, in the end, that's not the World Cup. That's just our fucking jerking off Disney shit. So, you know.
In my argument with him in this case, because he does go on to say how multiple content producers do all the same thing and create a perception that it's inevitable or inevitability, it has a chilling effect on criticism and makes it easier to create the illusion of consensus, legitimacy. It's pointless other than functionally manufacturing consent. My argument to that was, yes, only if you take our prediction of what Greg's going to do and ignore all the criticism that we follow it up with. Because we say, here's what we think Greg's going to do. I can't believe he's going to call this guy back in, but he will, instead of calling X, Y, and Z. And we criticize aspects of what we think Berhalter's going to do.
He's asking us to ignore reality and live in our own world, our own little bubble world. We can't do that, dude. That's not how this works. It's called reality. Now, if you personally want to go off in some corner and smoke a bunch of weed and take some acid and live in your own fucking world and go, I'm going to will Greg Berhalter. I'm going to will him in this corner as I'm high as fuck to change the way he believes. I'm going to get in. I'm going to mind meld with Greg. No, dude, that's not how this works. Greg's going to do what Greg does. And our job is to cover it, criticize it, and maybe on occasion give our own options. But, dude, we got to live in the real world. Can't live in Disney World.
The turd says, me? Propaganda? Not true. All I do is state facts. And yes, actually, quite frankly, a lot of the stuff you do post are stats.
That's true.
They're just
Greg Berhalter took the youngest team ever in the Gold Cup to the final and they win the Gold Cup. Greg is awesome. Next question, please. Thank you.
So, and without really branching down, because I mean, we basically covered the talking points of the whole thing. Is, you know, I mentioned them like, if you look at the criticism along with the prediction, it's not necessarily projecting it. We're not propagandizing anything. We're saying, here's what he's going to do. Here's what we think is wrong, and this is what we would do differently.
Does this guy realize how much shit comes down the pike at us? A lot less than, say, Pete or
we're lovable, Derek. People
Tactical. And I mean, those guys get loads of shit for being the most negative they're so negative on U.S. soccer. And they're getting all the shit. And what you're saying is they're actually propagandizing for fucking U.S. soccer? That's a false narrative. That is false consciousness. That's not even understanding how this shit works. That's all I'm saying. I might be losing you a friend tonight, Brett.
Oh, no. You wouldn't be losing me a friend because I'm still talking to him.
Okay, you talk to him. I'm yelling at him.
The funny thing is that as a whole, we all come to the same conclusion. You know, player X should be over player Y. It's just how we get to that conclusion is different. We approach it in a sense that we address the listening public, the people who decide to sacrifice an hour and now 30 minutes of time listening to us and say, here's what Berhalter is going to do.
Yeah.
This is
Sadly.
what we think is wrong. And this is what we would do differently. And yeah, we do talk about what Berhalter is going to do, but I don't think that's necessarily saying here's a narrative that you guys can jump on top of and ignore all of our criticism. Please do that.
Here he says, I don't watch.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't watch.
He talks about it. He goes, he's going to be watching the Philly games. He likes us. He likes us though. He just doesn't watch it because we do more harm than help.
Well, that's just absolutely. If you don't watch, then you're willing to make that kind of commitment to a statement like that. Then you're just, dude. You're just you're an egg short of a carton right now.
The one thing I asked, I'm like, it's strange though that you can claim that we're more harmful than helpful if you don't watch our content.
Well, either way, I don't give a fuck what he thinks. But I mean, if you're gonna make a comment or criticism, then at least watch the show. I mean, before you say before you say we're more harmful than helpful. I think it would be a good idea to watch the show. I would not do that to anybody. I would not hear about someone's show or hear things about the show and just go off their Twitter and I've never watched the show and then still declare that the show is more hurtful than harmful than helpful. I would never do that to anybody. I would watch the fucking show before I said that. So just me. That's what I would do. I'm a rational person. I don't fucking go out and say things like that about anybody unless I've actually got up their asshole and seen how dirty it is. Now I know how dirty it is. I can come out and say, that's a dirty asshole. There's shit up all in that stuff and it needs to be cleaned up. All right. But until you know that, you cannot say that.
So the funny thing is, yeah, I've had very few interactions with people where I'm like, oh my God, I'm fuming, blah, 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 about what they've said on Twitter. Because and you guys have known this from just watching the Twitter feed. I address Twitter in a completely different way than most content creators do. And that's including the pundits and the mainstream media. I address it with a large amount of sense of humor and grain of salt. And I'm just like, I disagree with some of the stuff that Class Act has said about us as whole, and he's fine keeping that opinion. Like you said, I don't really care. I mean, if he wants to watch our show, watch our show. If you don't want to watch our show, don't watch our show.
But he needs to get up our asshole, Brett. Well, he needs to get up our asshole and see what we're about before he declares our fucking colons as full of shit, is what I'm saying. That's all. Get up in that asshole, Class Act.
No one rants like a Derek rant.
Get up in that asshole, buddy. Find out what's up in there before you say something like that. That's all I'm going to say. And listen, it doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight. So I just want to let people know I don't give a fuck. I'm just having a good time here.
I also, despite the fact that he was claiming, what we're doing does more harm than hurt, he still listens. He still watches our Twitter feed at the very minimum. He interacts with us. He enjoys the show. So I'm still coming out of this. I'm coming out of this regardless. I still enjoy communicating with Class Act. I'm looking forward to more interactions. But yeah, bro, just watch our show sometimes.
Yeah, watch it.
People are always like, dude, why are you guys always banging on Berhalter over there? Like, well, X, Y, and Z. We're not trying to be harmful,
and we are definitely trying to be helpful. So that's the whole point of the show, is to have a perspective where we're like, well, here's the reality. Like, that's what we deal with. That's what everything we deal with is about, reality. Where are we? Who's the coach? Who does he like? Who does he doesn't like? Who does he want to fuck up the ass? Who he doesn't want to fuck up the ass? Who is he going to give third chances, fourth chances, fifth chances to? Who is he not going to give any chances to? We bring all this up, Brooks, B-Fock. Listen, we've done it all here, and most of you guys out there already know that. So All right, we got more. Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. He said he was watching the Phillies game instead of ours, but they're playing tomorrow night.
No,
Class,
boy.
come on, man. All right, Berlin. Berlin says probability that we end with 0 points.
0%. We're gonna get a point.
We'll get a point. Probability we score 0 goals. We'll score a goal.
Well,
Oh, no, that's not necessary. We can still get a point and not score a goal.
but I think we'll score a goal.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Probability we go to the 1/8.
50%. We got a shot.
Is that the once? What was this?
It's
so-
the next. It's the round
I
out
thought
of
the
the
16s was the round out.
Yeah. I guess if he's saying 1/8, the last 8 teams probability would be like 10%.
Hey, I dropped the 10 on the U.S. to win it all. So
Yeah, you dropped a 10. You mean you shat on it?
might as well set that on fire. But you know what? I have better odds there than I do dropping that 10 on the lottery.
Yeah. Probability that we go to the quarters, which is better or less than the 1/8. So that's quarters.
1/8 is quarterfinals.
It's the same thing. I don't
Yeah.
get it. Why are you?
Yeah.
All right. So not
I
great.
think like the knockout stage is like 16, right? And then it's
I
8.
think we got a 50% chance of getting out of the group.
Yes.
And then I think that after that, it gets the percentages drop dramatically. So,
there you go. Caden Clark confirmed he's out of New York. Yeah. I mean,
And
he's
what?
technically owned by the Red Bulls in Leipzig. So
he's going to
where
go
he goes from there.
He's going to go mow lawns at Leipzig. That's a side job. All right, another great. Sorry, I just don't have a lot of. Hey, listen, I like Caden Clark as a guy, but I just don't think he's.
What we want to see
anymore.
we want to see him produce.
Yeah, I'd like to see him, but
Even at the U20s in the Olympics, let's see him produce.
he's not gonna. All right, another great performance by Turner today. He has to be our number one. Yes, he is. It's clear. I say that, but it's also clear that Ferreira shouldn't be our first choice. We already talked about this.
Yeah.
My gut, unfortunately, tells me Berhalter is going to stick with Stefan.
Now, that's the question.
I think Berhalter's with Turner right now. As much as he would love to have to ride Stefan's rod right now, I don't think that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to be smart, and he's going to go with the guy that's playing at a higher level and playing it on a better team and not having brain farts during games. So.
Jose goes, what?
What?
You want to read what he said? But
I ruptured one of my ligaments in that game versus Tottenham. I was worried, thinking I may have a long spell out, but luckily I managed to rehab it quite well. That's all we need to know. He's back.
Nope, continue.
Oh, shit. I didn't need an operation. Got back. I'm feeling okay. I'm still trying to get used to playing on one ankle. Shit, really? No matter how I'm feeling, I can get through the game. Then I want to be out there helping the boys. I'm just going to have to get myself back up to match fitness and the form I was before I was injured.
Sounds like he needs surgery.
He's playing just fine.
Playing on one ankle.
Yeah, he's fine. He played for Fulham today. He was great. He's fine.
There we go. I'm sure that the one ankle thing was just in jest, probably, maybe, hopefully.
Like his goal.
Oh, you need to read it in Jedi's accent. Do you want to go back?
No, because I'm not going to.
You'd sound like Dick Van Dyke at that point.
It'd be like,
Roy!
At this rate, I'm afraid that Jesse Marsh will be competing with Matarazzo for the U.S. men's national team job. Been rough for Leeds, not Jesse's fault, but he better watch out. The two brothers on that stupid Leeds podcast said Jesse should be sacked tonight. Brian and A. Nolwarts. Nolwarts? Brian and A. Nolwarts. Anal warts. Okay, anal warts. I get it. Anal warts. You see that, Brett?
Oh.
Brian and anal warts are terrible. Yeah, well done, Jenna.
Oh, Mitch. I didn't get
Desi.
that. Nice.
Desi, Mitch.
Genitals. You're killing it.
Yeah, I noticed. I was looking for it. I
didn't because I saw the interaction between other people on this one, And I thought that was I didn't even realize it was Mitch that was on there. So
A lot of people calling for Jesse to be sacked today. I don't think he will be.
He claims that he has the support from the board still.
Yeah, but if he fucks up that Fulham game, get ready for some serious. Yeah. Not his fault. He's a decent enough motivator, but his tactical setup too narrow isn't going to cut it. We just said that. We said that all show long. And his setup and substitutions are both odd and poor. We said that too. He's an enthusiastic juvenile. He's not a juvenile. He's not fucking 10 years old in comparison to most of the managers he's up against. Oh,
he's acting like a kiddie.
Yeah, those other managers aren't out, man. Come on. Look at the games versus Chelsea and Arsenal. Wolves. It's not that big of a deal, but it's not like we're getting. Today was the worst day. Leeds versus Leicester was the worst day. So let's not fucking have a cardiac arrest. Let's give Jesse another shot versus fucking Fulham and see what he does. If that's shit too, then we know he's lost the locker room. If that's shit too. And if the game after that shit too, then he's going to probably be canned.
Yep.
Basic. That's the way this works.
Possible.
But let's not go all like he's a juvenile compared to the other managers. That's bloviation. That's pontification. It's unnecessary, and it's one step too far beyond reality. And that's what we deal with on the show, reality. I'm just ready for Greg's 26-man roster. You're ready for this?
Coming out November 9th. That's when the roster's been announced.
Just time to rip the duct tape off your cock so I can scream and get it over with. Then hopefully we can get out of the group.
Yeah, I think that's basically the consensus for most.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. Please, God, let's just end this end. Well, let's see how we do. I mean, listen, this could be a complete disaster, or it could be a lot better than we all think it's going to be. And if it's a lot better than we think it's going to be, then, oh, God, yeah, you're right. Greg's going to keep his job. All right, well, it's a lose-lose situation, isn't it?
Well, a future happy birthday to Mr. Jose Lopez on November 9th when the roster is announced. Best present you could possibly get, right?
Oh, the roster's going to be announced. He's calling it
November 9th.
That shit. So, yeah, Greg's going to drop a big fucking poo bomb on your birthday.
You're going to light on
Jose.
fire.
He's going to be like, here's
fire.
Greg's going to be like, here's my lineup. Oh. And he's going to be like, no PFOC on it. Sorry. Oh. Sorry about that, guys. No PFOC and no Brooks and no Ream. Oh, I had to squeeze out. Rolled on there. Hold on. Squeeze it out. Rolled on. Oh, yeah. I got him out. Okay, that's my roster. Hope you'll like it.
Oh, my God. Imagine Greg wins it all. The horror. I'm looking forward to it on my bank account. Thank you.
Man, if Greg wins it all, it's going to be because of the players, and I am going to fucking jizz in my pants if that happens. Right in my pants.
Probably in the sex doll you're going to purchase.
I won't even have to touch my cock. I'll just jizz straight in my pants. We win the World Cup. Jizz in my pants.
It's a scene from Grandma's Boy when his friend's mom walks into him when he's whacking it in the bathroom, and he's like, I can't help. Stop. You jizzed on my mom.
Okay, with that thought in mind, can we end the show? Because I really want to end it. Porn is inappropriate. You guys are crude. Should Leeds sack Jesse. Porn is inappropriate. Porn is inappropriate? Craig Walters?
Craig.
It's inappropriate? Well, in your world, that's fine. You live in that world. Others, it's not inappropriate. So, should Leeds sack Jesse? And you're sack. He used the word sack. All right.
Porn, sack. Wait a second.
He isn't good and should never replace me as U.S. men's national team boss because Greg is better and wins a lot, unlike Jesse. Thanks. Yeah, well, Greg plays against CONCACAF. Fucking Jesse's playing against goddamn EPL teams. I'd take a porn connoisseur over someone who doesn't know what punctuation is any day.
You didn't say that in the angry vet noise or voice.
I know. I know I should have, but we're not porn connoisseurs. We're just porn knowledgeable. That's different. Like, I don't sit around all day going,
Porn
"Oh my
activists.
God."
All right. Go porn.
I don't sit around all day going, what porn am I going to watch tonight? Oh my God. I got to watch something because I need to, But
Derek's got a genre list. Like, I've already done nuns. So next up is
hairy pussies. I don't know.
animals. Fuck, I don't want to watch
No.
that.
Oh, no, Brett. No. Animals, no. Not doing that. All right. Are we done yet?
Aww. We had a tweet deleted. You guys can't delete your tweet that kills the mood.
All right.
Is that
Come
what
on.
Wallace is? Like, you don't delete tweets because it kills the show.
All right. Next.
But it has to do with this guy. He posted something. And basically he talks about how, like he's distraught and he's like, should we shit can Jesse? I'm not happy because at the end of the day, we have to be doing terrible in order for us to concern ourselves with shit canning a coach. So,
all right.
Yeah, I feel
fine.
for him, Leeds fans and all.
I would
But
too
is
for
it-
a lifelong fucking Leeds fan. I'd be worried. My wife is a big Football Americas fan because she was searching Herc all night. Well done. Well done.
Yeah. I showed Derek at the end after the show, guys, and Derek then had what he was going to whack it to later on.
No, I did not. I needed more than that to whack it. All right. I did.
I'm sure he needed more too.
I need more involvement going on than that GIF would provide.
Wasn't even a gift. Thank goodness it wasn't a gift because I didn't need to see any motion with that picture. It was just a picture. It's just a.
And I appreciate
shot
there
of a
was.
cock.
I appreciate there was no motion. I didn't want to get too turned on. All right.
Exactly.
All right. Sam Cuts and X.
Pulisic looked amazing yesterday. Hope to God Potter gives him time. Prove himself. Havertz looked like horseshit. Yeah, plays all the time.
Is it public and where can we get it? The provisional man roster for must be released to FIFA. Okay, so probably be interested to see who is on. Does Brooks or Ream even make the 55? And does Greg do a dumb thing and list 35?
Dude, he's not going to list more than 27. 28.
No, he's not.
His mind would explode.
He's not Tata. He's not going to list 55 and
These are the 55
fuck
players.
Chicharito up the ass. Basically, he just told Chicharito he's not even good enough to make the 55-man roster. What a fucking joke that is. Hey, they should have known when they hired the guy he's going to make a spectacle of things. And we didn't know that he would come this far and be this big of an idiot. I had a lot of respect for Tata before he became manager of Mexico. Yeah. I've lost a lot of it since.
I love how that was the argument and debate. Like, is it going to be Berhalter? Is it going to be Tata? I'm like, we can't even fuck either way.
Yeah. This is spot on. Defending a U.S. men's national team player after a bad performance.
So spot on Berhalter. So defending a U.S. men's national team after a bad performance. And Jordan Peterson is sitting here, and he got asked a question. And, man, he went through like a minute-long spiel. Basically, you say, well, we've got to define what you mean by the word do, and we've got to define what you mean by the word it's like, what does he say? It's like, do you believe in God or something like that? Like, he basically says we need to find each individual word. And basically it's just it's a word salad of nothingness. In this instance right here, this minute-long instance. This is a weird.
Yeah, I'm
sure it makes sense, but it's over my head when I listen.
I don't even want to touch this.
So
basically, don't want to touch it.
Here you go, Derek.
Jordan Peterson, not touching it right now.
Derek.
I'll touch it later.
Ooh.
I'll caress it
Hey-o.
gently. I have nothing against Jordan Peterson. I think he's trying his best out there. He's just, I don't agree with him on some
You don't
things.
have to, and that's fine.
And there are other things I think he's making. Anyhow, whatever. I'm not talking about Jordan Peterson.
This is just the good way to view life in general, guys. You don't have to agree with everybody on everything. And if you disagree, it's okay.
Yeah, we don't agree on everything. That's fine. I don't think that he's a dirtbag because that's kind of how things go these days. If you don't agree with somebody, they're just a dirtbag. or a douche or anyway. Doesn't have to be that way. You can disagree with people on things soccer-wise, all kinds of different things. Oh, they like pork. You like chicken. Well, those chicken people. God damn, those chicken people are disgusting. They eat those chickens. They're gross. So thus, people who eat chickens are all gross. People who eat chicken are all gross. No, you can like pork and chicken. Some people do. All right, that's going to be the end of the show tonight. Thank you for staying up late with us. God, we're just
10 o'clock, Derek. Don't preach how old you are.
No. Make
It's
sure
10 o'clock. I should have gone to bed 4 hours ago.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and by the way, we played the T-shirt thing at the beginning. Get some of those. I feel like we haven't enough, so we should buy some of the T-shirts. They're fucking great. I wore them on this show. Tax wore them on his show.
Multiple shows.
Yep. So do that, and don't choke on any Claire anytime soon. And until the next time, Straight Red Card. We'll see you.
You're gonna do her. Yeah.
Oh no!
Matt, what the hell was that?